To create our Vue and Firebase authentication project, we need a front end and a back end that handles authentication. So first of all, we type in npm init advite.js app, and then we cd our folder and npm install and npm run develop. Then we will have a web page displaying to us that our server is up and running. Let's go to the Firebase console and create our project. After we click on Create Project, we enter the project name, and then we click on Register our app. So after we click on Register app, we will be able to see some codes for configuration purpose. We will create a new folder under the source code folder, which is called Views, and we will have 4 pages called Feed, Home, Register, and Sign In View, and a home page with some basic template, a registration page to create accounts, a sign-in page for existing users, and a feed page that requires a login user. So let's create these files, and then we will be able to install the routers for routing. npm install Vue router. After installing the router, we will create an index.js file and update our main.js file. We will also update our app.vue file by introducing a navigation bar into it. Please notice that here this runs after Firebase is initialized, because on or state change to get user states. If it is logged in, then we will show him the feed page. Next, we're going to install npm install Firebase and update our main.js file with the configuration of Firebase. Now let's move to the Firebase authentication page. Make sure that the email password login method is enabled. We also need to create a Firebase.js file by importing from the Firebase app we created. And then the authentication components are in each form: login form, registration form, and dashboard.view. We have to use vmodel to import the components that we just created. For the Firebase authentication methods, we will use email password authentication and use a user state observer to observe the state changes. Now we'll be able to see that we're logged in user because we successfully register ourselves and automatically log ourselves in. We can also check our Firebase authentication page and make sure that the details we've just entered is now saved in the Firebase cloud. Once we hit the logout button, we will notice the difference of the navigation bar. Since we're no longer logged in, our conditional content in our nav bar will all change to logout state. We also want to insert the auth listener here in the feed.vue file and make sure that our component, whenever our component is unmounted, we do not change the status. Here, we use a user state observer on all state changed and make sure that our listener can switch between different components. We can further protect our routes by adding some configurations like require auth true and automatically redirects for unauthenticated users or when the session is expired. For the error handling message, we use VIF statement and display error messages. For better deployment and best practices, we suggest hosting options using Firebase hosting or Netlify or Vercel. And for security tips, we enable the Firebase auth providers or set up email verification method or use Firebase security rules. If you are a logged in user, you will be able to go to our library page and see through a lot of dogs listing as hearing dogs to help the deaf people. So these are database contains a list of dogs here. And then these are filtered data through entering some conditions. You can also toggle the message, click on the button, and you found a champion dog.